Hi, so we're starting Unit 6. We're talking about Lesson 1, Farm Animals and Career. So this is going to be my favorite unit that we've gone over, animal, and I'm sure a lot of you as well. Um, I'm a huge animal person, and I know many of you are too, and that's why you're taking this class. So this should be really exciting. And if you're not, just be open to learning about them, and you may fall in love with it. And there's a lot of careers in the agriculture field dealing with animals. And so we'll talk about some of those in this lesson. So, obviously, the first one that people think of when they think of an animal career is someone that raises animals. That would be a rancher. So, a farmer and a rancher are different. A rancher is someone that raises animals, and a farmer raises crops. So, that is a very large career. It is kind of hard to get into because you have to have land and facilities and typically experience to raise these animals on a large enough scale to do it full time. Most ranchers, they actually do it like as a side hustle. So we raise goats, and we've got 200 goats that we raise along with 15 cows, but that's not enough to do it on its own. So we have other jobs, other careers that we do, and we kind of do ranching as a hobby. And that's how most people are. There are still some really large ranches that do that, like the Four Sixes Ranch in West Texas. They raise cattle and horses, and they sell them. And but even big ranches like those are struggling today. So there are definitely other careers that you can do dealing with animals, and we'll talk about some of those. So first is animal biotechnologist. So to do this, you'd have to go to college. You'd study science. You'd study chemistry, biology, and so you're gonna just and it. Animal biotechnologist is very broad. There's a lot of different companies you could work for, a lot of different things you could do for those companies. But basically, you are a scientist, and you're researching. You could work for a feed company or a health company, and you're just studying the effects on that animal and researching the best products for that animal. You could be a caretaker. So you could work on someone else's ranch as a ranch hand. Um, some of you may do that already, okay, taking care of other animals. You could also work at, it doesn't just have to be livestock animals, maybe even working at like a groomer or a boarding facility for horses or boarding dogs or cats. So, depending on the company, is going to depend on what you're going to need. If you're just working for a local ranch, you're probably not going to need a college degree. But if you're wanting to go in and work at like a zoo, you're going to need a degree in animal science. Feedlot manager. So if you live in the Panhandle, you are familiar with what a feedlot is. Those of you that aren't, a feedlot is where you're going to send livestock, typically cattle, and it's a lot, just like a big lot of pens. And they send all these cattle there, and the cattle are fed to a certain weight until they're ready to slaughter. So that manager, they're in charge of making sure the animals are fed, what rations, health, other situations. A veterinarian. Okay, so a specific one is a food animal vet. So you could, be responsible for the care of animals raised for food production, like we call them just a livestock vet. Okay, it requires veterinary school, and you have to get your doctorate in veterinary medicine. You could specialize even from there and be an equine vet, or small animal, veterinarian, or just a veterinarian technician. Okay, you don't have to go all the way to vet school. You can just do like a 2-year program at a technical institute or a community college on your certificate, and you could do that as well. Or a livestock buyer. This is somebody that's going to buy and sell livestock, trade them. They go to auctions and they do this. Typically, you need to kind of know what you're doing. For all of these degrees in animal science are only going to help you. And there are several other different careers, but these are some of the more popular ones. There's some, like I know somebody that they were one of the only ultrasound, so that's determining whenever an animal is pregnant, looking at the inside of that animal and seeing like stuff about the fetus, telling the gender, all those sorts of things. She was the only one in Texas that could do equine. So that's a kind of a niche job. I know somebody that he's a vet just for racehorses. So people fly horses to him from all over the world, and he works on these fancy racehorses. So there's several different niches. If you want to work with animals, that's a great way. Another one, part of the reason I became an ag teacher was because I love animals. Okay, as an ag teacher, you get to go work with animals and kids, so you kind of get the best of both worlds. For me, at least. So yeah, there's some examples. I encourage you, if this interests you, to take it upon yourself and look up more careers that deal with farm animals, or reach out to me and I'd love to help.